Good evening to the aspirants and the participants of the SLW722 to my virtual class on 17 April 2023, and we are dealing the second unit in the SLW722, that is nothing but the role of the UN in the protection and promotion of the human rights. Yes, what I posted on the screen, can you read? Is it visible?
All human beings are born free.
Yeah, it is gone. Human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with a reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. So that is of course a bit small, but I want to magnify it, but it is came a little. Okay, now without wasting the time, we will go to the today's class and you could see it what I posted on the screen. The role of the United Nations in the promotion and protection of human rights. That is exactly the second unit what we, according to our syllabus. Yes, we dealt to extent certain things, but at least it is a repetition in one way, in another way. And a few issues command the world's attention so quickly as well publicized alert of the human rights violation. It is no accident that the subject of the human rights at the top of the news and the international agenda. Years of the work by the United Nations, along with the work with the non-profit organizations, international scholars, diplomats, and private citizens have made it so. The UN Charter signed in San Francisco in 1945 is among the first international treaties expressly based on the universal respect for the human rights. Sir, sometimes you say international treaties, sometimes you say charters, sometimes you say protocols, sometimes you say declarations. Yes, these are the varieties of the things where this international organization will make it out. If the UN make it out, generally we will say the charter. But the few nations together will form, we say treaties. Like if the two nations are there, then we can say bilateral treaties. If the many nations are joined together and make a treaty, then we can say, if the many nations joined together and formed a treaty, then we can say multilateral treaties. Say again.
Convention.
Multilateral treaties, we say. Conventions come at that instance when the UN make it compulsory to the people.
Okay.
So, charters and conventions is made by the UN. But the treaty is made by the special organizations or among the states. So, whatever it may be there, we can say the international instruments. Is it clear?
Yes.
So, the Universal Declaration on Human Rights as an international standard since 1948, it is the mother of the treaties. I mean, mother of the international instrument. In one way, in another way. So one of the UN document, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, reflects many of the ideals of the Bill of Rights in the United States Constitution. There is a fundamental rights. The declaration spells out what the member state of the UN believe are the minimum human rights of all the people. That means if you are a human being enough, you have the inherent right, that is the human right. Among the basic rights, it mandates are the rights of the people to determine their government, freedom of thought and religion, the right to privacy, and the right to fair trial. It is common to all. It goes on to condemn slavery, torture, and arbitrary arrest. Americans take these rights for granted, but even today, they are not the standards in many parts of the world. The universality of the Declaration was reaffirmed at the 1993 World Conference on the Human Rights at Vienna. So it is strengthened in the Vienna by the World Conference in 1993. Then I quote, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with the reason and conscience and should act towards the one another in spirit of the brotherhood. I unquote. This is Article 1 of the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights. Yes, if you just type in the Google search engine, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Act, the entire, then you will get in a PDF form with articles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So next comes the Commission on the Human Rights. In the United Nations, issue of the human rights fall under the jurisdiction of the Economic and Social Council of the General Assembly. Human rights comes under the jurisdiction of the Economic and Social Council of the General Assembly, which established the Commission on the Human Rights as a main policy-making body to deal with the human rights issues. But the commissions are totally banned, then the councils have come urged, later part. So composed of the 53 members at the beginning, 1945, the 53 members government, which serves on a rotating basis, it strives for the universal recognition of human rights for all the people regardless of the race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth and other status. So in the beginning when they formed only the 53 members are there. Now the number increases to 194. The commission based in Geneva, Switzerland investigates the reports on the wide range of the issues, including the prevention of the discrimination and protection of the minorities. Who are the minorities?
There is
Who are the minorities?
the minorities.
Those who are minors. Below the age of 18 years.
The minors are those with the below 18 years.
Here the production of minorities in the sense, both the sense need to come here. Minority in the religion, minority in the sects, minority in the faith. Who are the minorities in Tanzania regarding the sects are concerned?
They are underage.
Of course, one man, there is a cultural minority is there, religion minority is there, language minority is there, and age minority is there. See, minority don't think that only the below the age of 18 years. Cultural minority, language minority, linguistic minority. So, when you say the sex minority in the sense, suppose which sect is more in Tanzania?
The female.
I said Sukuma, Haya, Meru, Chagga.
we need some statistics. But most
Sukuma are
selectly,
more, Chakas are more, Payas are more. Then who are the minorities?
the minorities are like those people in Singida, the Nyaturu.
Whether Masai comes under minority.
The Maasai, the Barbaigi, the Tuareg.
Yeah. So those are less in number. Regarding the set also we can say minorities. So production of the minorities, the use of the death of the penalty and the eradication of the modern day slavery, the status of the woman, crime prevention, crime justice, and matters related to children and indigenous population. These are all the things which will come under the social, economic and social council. And the commission will take care of it. Responding to the allegation of the human rights abuses, the UN sends its eyes and ears special rapporteurs to representative of the Secretary General to monitor the compliance with the various international human rights instruments and to instigate allegation of the abuses. Whenever the violation of the human rights are there, UN sends the team. They will act like eyes and ears. They are the special rapporteurs and representatives sent by the Secretary General and to make the report and give to the UNO. So and investigate all allegations and abuses and report to the UN. In addition, individuals who allege their human rights have been violated may communicate directly with the Center of the Human Rights in Geneva. If anyone will be victimized by the human rights, even they can directly also complain to the Center for the Human Rights in Geneva. So the commission may be just talk, but it has a considerable power to generate international publicity of the human rights issues. It will take the lead. And even the most repressive regime shies away from the negative publicity. The fact that has been proven again and again, cases where bad press has brought relief for the individuals or groups subject to the violation of human rights. Whenever the human rights violations are there, media plays an important role. It is the media should have to depict it, shows it what is the right path. But media should not be sold to the government. If they are sold to the government, they will be the puppet of the government. Even whatever the government does anything, but they will price it and make it out because they are the puppet of the government, media. So in some instances, even the threat of being singled out for this criticism in a UN human rights resolution has inspired reform efforts. So sometimes, depending upon the change of the society, the law should be changed. And the international instrument also to be changed. So that they could have the pace with the changing society of the changing society. That's why we say law is the instrument for the social change. Even change comes through the law also. And the commission may be, yes, and is inspired reforms efforts. So now human rights commissions are not there, it is banned. Now the human rights councils are there now to take care of it. And the United States participation in the promoting the human rights. How the United States participate? Human rights are the indispensable basis for the quiet miracle of the normal life. As the President Clinton at the time said, the United States has supported the human rights projects such as the Colombia and Namibia at the time. Those are the projects should be there. They sponsored the Colombia and Namibia, and where we participated in the UN successful implementation of the free and fair elections. There they went to make it the free and fair elections, and they will assist them. And after the El Salvador's peace accord was signed in 1992, the United States participated in the UN Observer Mission to monitor the ceasefire and ensure the continued observance of the human rights in an atmosphere of democratization and political stability. Even the UN states they directly involved after 1922 to, if any war is going on, and they will monitor to see the ceasefire should be there and ensure the continuity of the observance of the human rights. So, what I want to say is, all the United Nations agencies, special bodies, organizations, they try to make the peaceful life on the planet Earth, and there would be a security to the people would be there. When the security is not there, then everything will be in doldrum. And there will not be a growth also when there is no security. And hence they try to achieve the, protect the, promote the human rights wherever the rights are violated. Human rights are violated. And closer to home in Haiti, the United States helped in the UN to train and equip the hundreds of the new national police officers. In the Haiti, where there was a disturbance would be there, and a violation of the human rights is more going on, at that inside the United States have spent the money and they trained the military. And they gave the money and they made the national police officers to take the place of the parliamentary gangs and abusive police officers to take care of them and to shun them. In addition to working through the United Nations, the United States also publishes the annual human rights report, which reviews the human rights situation in every country of the world. So a report will come in every year regarding the countries are concerned and what are the achievements they did it, and whether they have participated in the ceasing fire of any war is going on or violations going on over there, and what type of the help they did it, and what type of the sanction they made it if any one of the state will not listen to the international instrument provisions. Follow the international instrument provisions. Listen, follow, and act. So America has no permanent enemies, only permanent principles are there. But now it is a bit reverse may happen, because that is the reason they are trying to dump the US dollars now. Are you following me?
Yes, Prof, we are following.
The United States will not hesitate to address frankly the violation of the internationally recognized human rights, whether those violations occur in the Cuba, Afghanistan, Burma, Belgrade, or Beijing. Of course, Beijing will not allow, China will not allow, and even the India also will not allow to interfere in the internal matters. And the Secretary of the State at the time is the Madeleine K. Albright, now Guterres. The human rights abuses against women, especially when the war times. One of the most widespread abuse of the human rights is the violation against the women, including the women, children also, especially the female child. This takes many forms for non-preference in such a female fetuses or the newborns are exterminated. That fetus means a woman is pregnant over there, the 3 months below we can say the fetus, and it will grow over there, and if any other violations, if they make it out sexually, then there would be a premature delivery would be there. And to domestic violences like the beating and the quarrels, rape has been used as a weapon for war. They would like to make the rape when they want to encroach the area of somebody else or occupy those territories. As in the former Yugoslavia and Rwanda, The various forms of sexual harassment occur in developed and developing countries alike. In the Rwanda genocide, Yugoslavia also still there are two. It's going on now. Yugoslavia human rights violations, Rwanda human rights violation. Still, they are taking place, and the cases are going on against the violator perpetrators. The government at the UN's Fourth World Conference on the Women held in the Beijing, China, in September 1995, they agreed that there should be a shelter, legal aid, and other services for girls and women at risk, and counseling, rehabilitation for the free from the perpetrators. So, with the vigorous support of the UN, some of the countries have recently taken steps toward improving the laws related to the violation against the women. In Burkina Faso, the government launched a strong advertising campaign to educate and raise awareness about the unhealthy practice of the female genital mutilation, that is the FGM. Of course, Tanzania is against the FGM. I don't know whether the Korea people still following or not FGM, but in the modern times, FGM is no more now. In Brazil, police stations staffed entirely by women have been designated to deal with the women's issues, including the domestic violence. In Tanzania, do you have the police, women police? Answer is yes. Is it?
Yes.
I saw the women police, traffic police, even in other places also. The women's police station also there, I believe. Am I right?
Yes, Prof.
Yeah, women are taking part now because equal right will be given to them, and that is the reason they will come out of the kitchen now and they are taking part in the developmental activities of the country, even to increase the GDP. And there are many tribunals are there to take care of the violation of the, like I told you, Yugoslavia War Crimes Tribunal is there for the prosecution of the people responsible for the serious violation of the international humanitarian law committed in the territory of the former Yugoslavia since 1991. Even the Rwanda, still it is going on. And one of the judges in the Security Council has set up a tribunal for the prosecution of the people who are charged with the crimes against humanity in the territory of the Rwanda and neighboring territories during the 1994, and still it is going on in Arusha. There are the first such tribunals since 1995, Nuremberg trials. The Nuremberg trials were there, where in such situation, a special tribunal will be formed to see that, to give the protection and those who violated the human rights violation in that area. So the UN Human Rights Advisory Services and Technical Assistance, the United Nations Advisory Services Program would be there, which started in the 1955 on a small scale, providing the institution building assistance and other services to member states. See, UN having the many organs, means actually you are having the 6 organs, but the special agencies are there and which are sponsored by the UN or the organs of it. Even for the NGOs also they will make the encouragement to see that they do take the part in protection and promotion of the human rights. Right, the Red Cross is there. Yes, whenever the humanitarian violations or conflict or war would be there to protect the people from the other diseases, the Red Cross Society will approach over there and try to give the free medical aid to the people, even they rehabilitate them also. So, the member states are the request over the last few years, countries such as Bulgaria, Mongolia, of course, these are all history, have incorporated the international human rights norms into their constitutional laws with the UN assistance. Even in Tanzania also, the UN declarations are there. They are domesticated in most of the places in the municipal law. The Center for the Human Rights has helped the other nations in the drafting of the national laws and strengthening the national and regional institutions. Even a human rights center will try to help make the legislation in the particular countries. Finally, to spread the understanding, the right and duties of all the people according to the international human rights, then norms, the UN maintained the program to train the criminal justice personals, including the judges, lawyers, and prosecutors and the police, how to handle the human right violation cases and give the justice to the victim and punishing the perpetrators. The High Commissioner for the Human Rights, a noteworthy development in the continuing evaluation of the human rights was in the UN General Assembly establishment of the post of the High Commissioner for the Human Rights in December 1993 after the Vienna World Conference on the Human Rights. Jose Ayala was that, Lasso was there, the first High Commissioner, received and his mandate the traditional implementation of the civil and political rights of individuals as well as the responsibility for more and more effective liaisons with the UN system and prevention and the early warning and assistance to countries to period of transition. So these are all the organization, whatever that I said, and whatever it may be there, like the tribunals that try to make it out, UN organs, UN subsidies, special agencies. So these are all try to protect and promote the human rights. But we also discussed that there are the regionals, are the 6 regions are there. And the 6th region will also try to make it out to protect the human rights violation and the protection and promotion of the human rights will be there either to the women or to the children or to the indigenous people or to the minorities in the social, economical, cultural aspect. They try to see that there would not be any exploitation of a minor section by the major section of the people, or the rich country try to dominate the country which is in poor condition. At that instance, they are not supposed to encroach the sovereignty of any country, including the poor countries. Because if such a thing happens, definitely the Security Council, the UN, come and make the rescue in such situations. And now, even the UN has interfered between the war between the Russia and Tanzania. Participants, are you there or sleeping? Participants, are you hearing me? Basawe, Rutambuka, are you hearing me? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Then why you are not giving the answer to my question? Say, what is the
Can you
question,
repeat
sir?
the question, sir?
Yeah.
Can you repeat it?
In the recently, the UN interfered the war between the Russia and
No.
no.
I think they've stood aside just watching.
The International Criminal Court has sent the summons to the Putin
Yes.
to appear before the International Criminal Court in the Netherlands.
Yes.
Is it not the support of the UN there? Can the ICC make its own? Of course, the ICC also make its own also. But the people or the nation, they complained there in the ICC. At that instance, based on the complaint, they will call the country representative to file a written statement regarding the complaints are concerned. If the written statement is not in a proper way, they will ask to defend them. And when there would be an argument in the ICC, all the judges will hear it, or a special bench is appointed for that regard. They will hear the case. If the matters are more serious enough, they will make like a Yugoslavia tribunal and Rwanda genocide tribunal. Such a tribunal will be established over there and which will hear the cases, the human rights violations, when it has happened in that particular area, particular time. And the perpetrator will be punished as per the norms which is given over there. So, a different organization will come to the rescue of the people when there would be human rights violations, armed conflicts, displacement of the internal indigenous people, and not giving the proper rights to them and exploiting them, the both women and girls. So, UN take in all respects to try to protect and promote the human rights violation. There are many organizations are there. Like I told you, UNO organs or agencies to protect and promote the human rights violation across the world. And almost all the states of the world are the members of the UN. And now Human Rights Commission is no more. There exists the Human Rights Councils. And it is an intergovernmental body with the UN system made up of 47 states, and it is responsible for promotion and production of all human rights around the globe. So, the instrument and mechanism of the OHCHR, and that is the thing which we would like to make it out. See the UNO. The Human Rights Council is the highest level of the UN human rights machinery. It is an intergovernmental body within the UN system and made up of 47 states and is responsible for the promotion and production of all the human rights around the globe. So here there are many schemes are there, many productions are available in the promotion productions in the different areas, the human rights councils and the special organs and the technical cooperation and capacity building in the Human Rights Council, and there will be sessions will be conducted to see that there would not be any violation at all. And periodically they will see the report also from time to time. So the Human Rights Council is an intergovernmental body within the United Nations, and it has the ability to discuss all thematic human rights issues and situations that require the attention throughout the year. It meets in the UN office at Geneva. So in one way, in another way, there is such a things are there where we can come across by the special agencies to protect and promote the human rights violations. See what organs of the United Nations are promoting the human rights. I think all type of the organs will come into the picture. The main bodies of the United Nations are the General Assembly, what we discussed already, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the Economic and Social Council, the Trustee Council, of course, now the silent spectator, the International Court of Justice, and the UN Secretariat. These are the main organs. Under them, there are many agencies are there to the protection of the human rights. So, the right around the world, they will try to make it out. Throughout the UN High Commissioner for the Human Rights, the Human Rights Council and the UN not only monitors the compliance with the human rights treaties, but also coordinate its efforts toward the protection and promotion of the human rights through the education and awareness campaign on human rights issues and offering trainings. So when your question is asked over there too, how do you give the reply? How do you give the answer to your question? Main organs you can take it. Otherwise, you cannot justify it within a stipulated time. Are you following me? There are 20, 25, 40, 50 organs are there, not organs, but agencies are there, and where they will play a role in protection and promotion of the human rights. Even 5 regional bodies are. So main organs you touch it, and regional bodies you touch it. Enough, not more than that. But the question may be asked not in that way. They may ask, what is the European region will try to protect and promotion the human rights? The American, the Asian, the Pacific. So they will ask in that way individually rather than a generalized question. So in that way that you have to ask the question. So here are the examples which I have given, but anytime the Cisco Apex will stop now. The several conventions address the human rights issues such as the International Convention on the Elimination of all forms of the racial discrimination, the Convention on the Elimination of all forms of the discrimination against the women. Whenever such a situation arises over there, and there will be a convention will be made by the UN. Like the Convention on the Rights of the Child, CRC. So when the situation arises over there, to combat the situation, the United Nations make the treaties, conventions, protocols, and charters. And with this, they try to balance and make the human rights on the same one platform to keep the social and the social security and peaceful means on the health, good health on the earth planet. So these are the motives behind them in the production and promotion of the human rights. In any aspect, they do so. And then we can just throw light on those points and
So I spend a lot of time working on social media for my clients. I create a lot of video content